So this is another line that's coming out of my Benoni course and getting some experience with the English. And I'm not a big fan of being forced to play against these dragon Maroxy positions. It's no matter what is being told to you, these are not fully equalizable for black. And you got to take the opportunity here to play d5. I feel like this is the best approach. It is a bit dry if white plays most accurately, but it's rare, and white's not used to facing it. And we'll see quickly in this game where I'm playing a 2500 rated blitz Lichess opponent that they react very, very poorly to this surprise move on move 5. So takes. And what's potentially best here at this point is knight d to b5, where we trade. And this position with bishop e6, there are, let me see, a number of games, 2 games in the database from this exact position with bishop e6, in which white wins both, but the engine gives equal. And I like equal positions. And I do show in my course how there are some straightforward plans here, and I feel like the better player has the advantage in that type of game. Much better than being just worse forever if you wait around a few moves and say you just play naturally and go bishop g7. This is already far less fun in these Maroxy bind dragon positions where white, I feel, has a clear edge in pretty much every line. So getting back to the main game with e4, my opponent allowed me to compromise the pawn structure, and since I'm comfortable playing against this in the Alpen, and I'm comfortable playing against this when I played the Grunfeld, I already feel that I've not only equalized, I've outplayed my opponent and have the better long-term position. So bishop g7, bishop b5. And no knee-jerk reaction here, just bishop d7. Would you like to trade and accelerate my development? No? Well, I got extra time there. That feels nice. Now, again, would you like to trade and accelerate my development? No? Good man. Well, let's start probing and hit this weak c-pawn. C-pawn can't go anywhere with knight c4. Going to be pretty happy about that. So let's continue this idea. It's all about pressure and making sure your pieces stay weak. All right, I'll part with the bishop pair here, as I felt I've got enough in this position when I get the knight to c4. So bishop f2. And now this is where the technique of the game actually starts to come in, because I'm looking to improve my position and see if I can't get more. So candidate moves are bishop e5, knight d6, some combination, as I can continue to pressure and be aggressive. So I first go knight d6 just to see where the queen's going to go. Now I go bishop e5, as I'm looking to provoke a weakening move. h3 or g3. Okay, g3. Well, now he's prepared to play f4, which would kick things back. So let's go ahead and move the knight. And this is a critical position that I was considering when I was going for this idea of moving the knight back to d6 and bishop e5, because it is a big threat to deal with rook d7. So this is the only point in the game where I actually need to think with black, what is the optimal plan? All right, hopefully you took time to figure it out. Best way to go here is get rid of white's only plus, the bishop pair. So I'm going to go bishop d6, which kills the idea of rook d7, and then bishop c5. Taking on c4 isn't going to help. I'll take on f2, trade a bunch, and got good play as more weak pawns to attack in the ending, which is probably objectively equal, but I like my chances there. Queen c2, and how quickly this game falls apart queen c5, definitely missed by my opponent. And now it's a question after king f3. Like, what's better? Do you spend time in a fast game trying to calculate, are you mating the guy, or do you just play a practical move that you know is good no matter what? I think so many players are caught up in, oh, queen e3, king g4, h5, king h3. But what do you have there? So I should go knight e3. And I'll take the free stuff all day long. This is what I enjoy. Takes. And now let's get every drop of goodness out of our position. I said, you know what? Let's practice some rook and pawn a little bit here, as this looks pretty trivial. Let's speed up the process, make some weaknesses. Make sure his king's not getting in too easily. No, no, no. Oh, you're trying to kick me back. No, none of the kickback. And here I could just play rook takes f4, but I think I was so caught up in the position and control that, you know, you miss it. But I did miss it the second time. And my opponent had enough. It's clearly there's absolutely no counterplay, and more pawns are going to drop in this rook and pawn endgame. So hopefully you enjoyed this English line that definitely comes from sidelines in upcoming modern Benoni course.